Good evening and welcome to the One Take Live cast. I'm your host Jax, and joining me tonight will be Forgotten Sons Apparel, a York-based alternative clothing company which do a range of clothings including hoodies, t-shirts, vests and hats. I'll be speaking to one of the founders tonight, and I happily to be wearing one of their merchandise, and we shall be speaking to him now. And here we go. Good evening.
Hey, Jax, how are we doing?
How are you doing? And I'm addressing Finn, of course, Finn Ferrell.
Hello, yes.
Hello. Well, first of all, thank you for being on this cast, and it's nice to see you repping, just as I am.
Always, always.
First, I would like to ask how you're doing.
Mate, fantastically well, thank you very much, Jax. Yeah, glorious winter's evening up here in Yorkshire, very chilly.
And what part of Yorkshire are you based in?
Literally about maybe 10, 15 miles outside of York itself.
Ah, cool. I like Yorkshire. I was in Sheffield last year.
Oh, excellent. All right, West Yorkshire, of course. Very nice.
Yes. Yes.
They're sort of north-east.
Yeah.
Although
I was there for a festival.
Yeah, North Yorkshire sounds better, so we'll say that.
So, obviously, you and your brother Callum run Forgotten Sons Apparel. And the first question, of course, where did all this become creation?
Well, when we were kids, and we're talking a long time ago, because we are both a lot older than we look,
No.
we had this idea of coming up with some comedy T-shirts. And I think my starring T-shirt was going to be a picture of a vacuum cleaner, and underneath it, it would say vacuum cleaners suck. And then Cal's was he just wanted a blue seal, and underneath it, it said Navy SEAL. So this was back in, we're going to say 19 something or other. And we basically talked about that going on and on about maybe doing this, funny T-shirts business. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, Cal was trying to find a T-shirt that he'd had when he was in his teens, and a big old graphic on the front, and he couldn't find it anywhere. And he was talking about making one, and he asked me if I could help him, get the design looking a bit more professional. And yeah, so he came up with it, and then he was like, why don't we just do our own T-shirts? Being idiots, we were like, yeah, it can't be that difficult. Let's just do our own T-shirts. So we designed half a dozen or so, knocked them all up, started putting them onto a shop, realised how much effort that was. And then the first company that we went with kind of folded. So we then had to redo all of the designs on a new company, which was less than fun. And then we discovered that the T-shirts we were originally using weren't the most sustainably or environmentally friendly. So we scrapped those and then redid them again using a brand new supplier with some T-shirts which were slightly more ethical. So it's really probably we've had 3, maybe even 4 different starts at it. But yeah, I'd like to think that vacuum cleaners suck and Navy SEAL were the progenitors of Forgotten Sons.
Catalysts.
Yes, the little embryos, the little seedlings many years ago.
Well, I like puns, and an alternative version of that Navy SEAL shirt would be a seal literally with a machine gun and grenade belts. That would have been hilarious as well.
Yes, maybe a tin hat.
Yeah. But there are many designs, obviously, with Forgotten Sons. Some seasonal, some things. Obviously, one of the most featured designs I've seen is the coffin.
Oh yeah, that's pine box.
Yeah, and also the chainsaw, and of course the trademark FSA.
Well, I think the chainsaw one, Ripper, was maybe one of the first prop designs that we released for the company. Back then, I think we were just trying to decide what would look cool on a T-shirt and what we'd want to wear ourselves. And so obviously a big old chainsaw with XOXOXO on it we thought quite funny. And And it's strange, the classic one, I think, which I'm wearing right now,
The
wasn't
logo.
yeah, it wasn't even our logo to start with. It was just another design. And then we'd come up with the shop. And then when we started with the Instagram and the Facebook, we needed something as a logo. And so that just seems quite clean. It looked quite good, retro enough, but still smart that, you know, it would be good to resemble. So
It reminded me of the Chicago White Sox logo in a way. It was very, kind of looks very baseball looking.
oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't the intention. I mean, we have tried to do baseball-looking ones different to that, but no, I think it was supposed to be more like almost like a seal, like a stamp or something. Like you'd maybe,
Yeah.
you know, back in the old days, where you'd heat it up and then jab it into some wax or whatever.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but every time we've released a new a season, we've tried to include like an incarnation of the classic. So we've got the classic 2.0, the classic V3. And then I think the next one is going to be the classic IV. We thought it might be quite funny if every single edition that came out had a slightly different naming structure. So rather than having classic 1, 2, 3, 4, we figured, yeah, if each and every single one was different. And then maybe classic E for the 5th one. I don't know. We've yet to come to that one, but we'll keep going. Yeah.
No, but there's so many like random and good designs. It's like obviously you do this together. Does it run through like, you know, you have an idea and then you run it through him, or he has an idea, or do you just both come up with the ideas and see if you can blend them together? Or is it like, oh, let's do this one, let's do that one, and you pull them out of the hat? How is that done?
Well, basically, we'll come up with ideas ourselves. Like we sat down and you'll get a bit of paper and you'll draw and think, oh, I wonder if it'd be cool if we had like a star, but it had a skull face in it. And we'll sketch that out. And then maybe Cal will go, oh, would it be great if we had like 2 wrestlers with like a banner above it and it said something like that? And then we'll sit down and we'll have a chat, maybe a coffee or a beer, depending on what time of night it is, and then decide which sound good and which sound rubbish. And then we'll mock them up and we'll have a look. And then I'll fire up the trusty computer, get Illustrator out and convert them into PNGs, and we'll mock them up, and then we'll have a look and we'll go, actually, that's a rubbish idea. Nobody wants a star with skull eyes. That's ridiculous. So that will go in the bin. And then we'll have 5 or 6 iterations of each one. And eventually we'll look at it and go, yeah, actually, that's pretty smart. I'd wear that. And that's basically the acid test is if we'd spend our money on buying that T-shirt to wear it, then we think, yes, that's the design for us. But yeah, he tends to come up with the more picture-based ones. And mine tend to be the more sort of geometric ones. But
Like the football shirt.
But I'm not saying I never do the picture ones and he never does the sort of graphic ones. It's just that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. Who did because I saw a recent one, it was kind of like a football shirt. Whose idea was that one?
I think that was a bit of both. Cal said, wouldn't it be cool if we had a football shirt? And then I was like, well, like a football jersey, like Middlesbrough or Newcastle or something. He's like, yeah, well, maybe an American one, like a American football shirt. And so we both sketched out on back of a fag packet a few ideas, and we came back, pieced it up on the computer, and I sent it and said, is this what you were thinking of? And he was like, that's exactly what I was thinking of. I was like, well, yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking of too. So yeah, in that case, we both kind of had the same idea at once. But there's been other times where he sent me over a message and said, right, do you know what I think would be cool? A Game Boy on fire with horns coming out of it. I've done a rough mock-up. What do you reckon? And
I'd wear that. I'd wear that. I'd wear that.
Well, yeah, we can do that. We could do that. And I'll spend, between us, we'll spend a few hours refining it and getting it to the point where it looks like a design. And then you put it to one side. A week later, you look at it and go, what is that? Who's going to wear this? Now, obviously, you would wear this, it turns out. So maybe we'll bring that one out of retirement. But, yeah, it's very weird because you'll have an idea and it'll feel great up in this space. But then when you get it down on a bit of paper, it just looks terrible. But then there's other ones where you think it wouldn't work, and then you write it down, you draw it down, you flesh it out, and then all of a sudden it looks like a design, and you think, wow, blimey, how did we ever think that was going to fail?
One of a lot of ranges I do see is the tarot range. Where did that idea come from? Obviously,
When we had the first dozen or so that we came up with, it was just there was no intention for it to be a series. I think it's called Justice. I think it was like Lady Liberty holding up a sword and some scales, and then it had the little background and it said like number 3 or whatever the card was, and it was all right. It looked quite cool. And then when we had our next one, we were like, okay, we probably want to have 6, 7, maybe 8 to release in our, I don't know, autumn range or whenever it was. And so we came up with a few, and we said, oh, do you know what would be quite cool if we did like another tarot card, because that previous one looked good, we liked it, but it could be better. So I think the next one we did was called Hang In There, which was like a version of the Fool, but instead of the Fool, it was a skeleton hanging upside down. And we thought nothing of it. We were just like, oh, it would be like a good replacement if we took Justice and got rid of it because it was okay but not great, and then we could have a better version of the tarot card. And then somebody was like, oh, are you doing a series of these? No, it's just we've replaced one with another. And they said, oh, that's a shame. I think that would work quite well. So we came up with another one, which for the life of me I can't remember off the top of my head. And then this most recent one. I'm sorry?
Was it the Three of Swords?
Oh, that's the one you're wearing now. No, it was the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands.
Yes.
And that, out of all of the designs, seems to have a broader appeal. I mean, you'd think a tarot card would be more focused towards a certain genre. You know, like the guys that do the witchcraft and the occult and the like. But no, it seems that everybody seems to like it. And then the Three of Swords, which I believe is the hoodie you're wearing there.
Yes.
Is our most recent one, and on Instagram at least, that seems to be everybody's favourite at the moment.
I was feeling it because it obviously I wasn't being picky, but I really obviously I did want to get something from the website and to wear because everyone else was wearing all this FSA. Yeah. But with me, I needed to get something I was really feeling and thing. And
it's got skulls, it's got swords,
pentagrams.
It's got and rain clouds. So what is that like?
No, I was really feeling it because, well, I myself, I'm a pagan and everything. So, you know, it felt, you know, like something close to my thing as well. But it's just also good for the, the goth community or, you know, like you said, or the alternative community as well. And that's the one thing. A lot of, I would say, obviously, it's done really well for itself. But when I first heard of Forgotten Sons Apparel, it was on a social media group chat, which your brother, you know, made, and obviously a good way to plug in
alternative styles.
Yeah, alternative styles, and
it's not. It's alternative styles reloaded because the first
now
one
it is
because the first one got taken down.
Due to algorithms.
Yeah, so this is version 2. So it's the reloaded.
Yeah. It was binged with FSA Apparel, and I was like, this is going to start a cult.
Well, that's our plan, to take over slowly but surely and build up.
Kick Nike off the grid.
Answer, everybody?
Kick Nike off the grid.
Yeah, that'd be ideal. Or what's that Gymshark fella that's made a couple of million quid out of selling T-shirts? So that'd be nice.
Yeah. But it is a brilliant range as well. You know, it's not just for the, you know, like I said, for the goth saving. It could be of any person of any alternative style, because obviously you've got baseball caps there, you've got, you know...
baseball caps?
Yeah.
Baseball caps are available on the website now if they were to go on there and buy one.
Yeah, they're great. You've got beanies on there, you've got hoodies, you've got obviously stuff for people, vests, that would be good for people who like going to the gym as well. And also you've got the wrestler Jackson Brooks, you know, repping your merch as well.
Yeah. Who, he's a hunky guy, isn't he? Eh?
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good ambassador.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said earlier, the main acid test of whether we like a design or not is would we wear it? And I think I own probably half of our stuff. I'm pretty sure Cal owns the other half. And, you know, we'll wear it on a daily basis. And with the UK being what it is, you're going to need a hoodie top and a beanie in this kind of weather, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
And then when it gets a bit warmer, you need to make sure you got T-shirts and the like. But yeah, we're always looking for new garments that we can include in the range. But it's difficult because you get the long line T-shirts, or we've got This is the Raglan t-shirts, you know, the baseball tees.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, the really cool t-shirt. Nobody seems to. Well, I say nobody. They're not as popular as just a standard t-shirt, which is weird because I would have thought, you know, the baseball tee.
I like the baseball tees, you know, because they're, you know, the nice, you know, black sleeve and the white thing. Like, I missed out on getting a Negan one because I like Walking Dead, and I thought that was a pretty cool one. And I was like, damn, missed out on that.
Yeah, we had. Was that the one off of our site or?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, what was it called? What was it called? Lucille, I think it was called.
Yeah,
And yeah, it basically had it had like the barbed wire and the bat, and then
yeah.
that was a few years back now. Crikey, yeah. So
I
yeah,
like
that
that.
yeah that one we discontinued because it was cool, but it didn't quite fit in with the rest of the designs.
That's fair.
So we were thinking, going back to the vacuum cleaner suck and the Navy Seal, we were potentially going to open up a second site, not a sister shop, but another shop which we could use for all of our stupid puns and stuff like that. And that way we could have an outlet for all of our hilarious plays on words, but also that wouldn't be in direct competition with FSA, and it wouldn't dilute what we had, because you don't want somebody, you know, who says, hey, have you seen this cool brands? They've got these great striking graphic tees. And then somebody goes on the site and the first thing they see is a, you know, picture of a vacuum cleaner or something like that, because they don't quite gel. But yeah, it may be in the future. If again,
I hope so.
Again,
It's nice to have a sister branch, really, and it's nice to, you know.
It is an unbelievable amount of work setting it up.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, the idea is hopefully we can get to a point where we can just pay somebody else to do all the hard work for us, and we can just sit there and yeah, come up with the ideas, and somebody else will do all the donkey work, which would be nice.
Yeah. Speaking of the brand, of course, where did the name Forgotten Sons come from? Was it just pulled out of a hat, or?
Well, yes and no. We were trying to think of a name for a little while. I mean, we'd come up with the designs, and we knew that we wanted a name for the brand. And we thought of a few different ones, and they were all absolute rubbish. And then Cal was listening to the song, not Rise Against. Oh, come back to me. Anyway, one of the songs was called Forgotten Sons, or it was in the chorus. And he was like, hey, listen, I was just listening to this song last night, Forgotten Sons. How good would that be? And we're like, yeah, cool, Forgotten Sons. But on its own, that sounds a little bit odd. And I was like, well, what about, you know, Forgotten Sons clothing? And then eventually we got to Forgotten Sons Apparel, or Apparel. And we're like, oh, yeah, no, that's it. Perfect. Well, that's brilliant. Excellent. And then we carried on, did the rest of the T-shirts, got the wording and the name, I named it or so. And then we're like, hey, Mum, Dad, you know, we've started up our own company, you know, doing some T-shirts. And like, oh, yeah, what's it called? Oh, Forgotten Sons Apparel. And they're like, Forgotten Sons? I'm like, yeah, what a cool name. They're like, but you're our sons. We've not forgotten you. And we're like, oh, it hadn't even occurred to us that because they didn't know the song, that they would the reference. And so now, every time I speak to my dad, at least one point in the conversation, he'll go, who are you again, sorry? And I'm like, oh, hilarious. For the first 2 or 3 times, it was quite nice, but 3 or 4 years later on, it begins to grate a little bit, but I can understand. And, you know, we did say, listen, you know, if it's that offensive to you, we'll try and think of something else. But, yeah, it's weird that it never even occurred to us that anybody would think that. So, yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be fair, but I think it's a very unique name. I mean, a lot of names just make up their names on the spot, or just have random odd ones. Obviously, Nike, you know, no idea where that word comes from, and obviously, you know,
Rubber Victory.
Oh yeah,
Nike, yeah.
I mean, what, a shoe company named their thing off a car? Okay.
Well, did they start off selling their stuff out of a van? Wasn't that how it went, or is that a hypocritical tale?
I don't know the history, unfortunately.
But the funny thing is, you say it's a unique name. There's actually, I don't know what type of wrestling, whether it's WWE or something, but there's an American wrestling tag team called Forgotten Sons.
Oh, yeah, yes, I remember. And that featured Gunner, now known as Jackson Riker, and Wesley Blake. Wesley Blake, Forgotten Sons, and they were a trio on NXT, you know, and they were like ex-war veterans.
So when we first started Instagram and we were posting, we'd get quite a lot of people engaging from the United States going, "Oh wow, yeah, exactly." Well, oh, cool! I can't believe a little company based just outside of York, up here in England, is putting stuff on Instagram, and people in America are liking this. And then over the course of the next few weeks, when they saw the posts that we were putting up, all of, you know, models in t-shirts or people in hats and stuff started falling away, and we realized it was because they thought we were the wrestling people, and they were hoping that we'd be, you know, grappling and showing all of our belts and our silverware, or
elbow drop,
or the cutter, my favorite move.
That spear guy.
Oh yeah, no man, no. Yeah. There's one of the guys that we follow, Cue Ball. He's a wrestler, and his signature move is the cutter. And every time he puts up a little video, I always reply, "Cutter!" with like 9 exclamation marks.
I refuse to call it the RKO. To me, it's always been the Diamond Cutter.
Or the Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh, Stone Cold Stunner's good, but I always liked it when DDP used it as the Diamond Cutter.
Diamond Dallas Page, the Yoga Meister.
Yeah, loved watching him in the 90s.
Yeah, well, to me, I'm a big fan of WWF and WWE as it is now.
Yeah.
I don't watch it nearly as much these days, but certainly the Attitude Era. Oh my God. It didn't get better.
Yeah, I mostly watch highlights of AEW now, because obviously it's new and fresh and everything. But like I said, it's just the time.
Yeah, that's AEW. So, that's a lot of the guys from WWE have moved over there. Like I know, was it Brian?
But you've also got wrestlers that never even worked for the company, and here they are, like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and you know that weird one, Orange Cassidy.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm not as big of a fan. I don't watch it as much these days as I'd like to, but certainly I used to miss, you know, Saturday afternoons watching the wrestling or whatever. But,
I remember it on Channel 5, WCW on Friday nights on Channel 5, and then it would be on TNT just after if Cartoon Network finished.
Excellent. Well, that's your weekend sorted pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah, it was good. But that's the thing about Forgotten Sons, you know, the actual company, they could be designs for wrestlers, because, you know, there's obviously, what if you had a wrestler with a chainsaw fiend, and you could use one of your chainsaw shirts as well, or one of those ones that obviously, you know, has a vampire gimmick, and the comic would be perfect as well. So, and obviously,
I think we actually did a collab with Brooksy, come up with his design on a t-shirt. Which would look pretty smart. So yeah, I think we did like a red on black and a black on red, which he wears in the ringside, which is quite cool. Yeah,
red and black is they're like his main colours.
Yeah, well, one of my friends, James Stacey, goes under the name of James Castle. He used to do a bit of sort of low-level pro wrestling, and he was pretty smart. We were trying to get him on board, but obviously he wanted his own theme. But yeah.
But that's the good thing about Forgotten Sons. Not only is it on wrestlers, you've got it on models, you know, bands are using it as well. You know, it's created such a following. So I assume that makes you and your brother feel very humbled, but very happy as well.
It does indeed. I mean, there's a few too many who we sent some stuff out to, and they wear those on stage and in the videos and stuff. They're pretty awesome. They're going to be big. I mean, they've already done a few headline festivals and stuff. I think I saw on Facebook that they're playing some big festival. I think maybe Rebellion next year, which is pretty banging. And then we actually had a few of the guys from Welsh rock bands who came back after retirement to do one show back in Wales. Oh man, the name escapes me. You have to forgive me. It's been a long day, but yeah, one of them was wearing one of our caps on stage, which was pretty smart. So yeah, when you see it in Kerrang, and you're like, oh, that's our hat.
I haven't seen any in Kerrang. Obviously, I haven't read Kerrang magazine for a while, but
yeah,
I've seen.
Do you read Kerrang anymore?
I listen to the radio station.
Do they still have the TV program where you pay £1 to watch a video? Does that still go in?
I don't know. I know Scuzz isn't around anymore. But what I do know is that Kerrang still have a radio station. I'm not so sure about a TV channel, but then I don't have Sky.
That always used to be back in the days you get home from university or whatever and stick on Kerrang and they'd have all the hits.
Yeah, Kerrang and Cartoon Network for me.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's both ends of the spectrum covered, isn't it?
Cow and Chicken and Deftones.
Cow and Chicken. See that episode of Cow and Chicken where they actually showed Mum and Dad and they stopped at the waist? They were just.
That was the very first episode. That was the pilot where, you know, a chicken is smoking. But yeah, I remember that really well.
Yeah, that's also, I'm not sure how many other people will remember that, but yeah.
Speaking of,
I was going to say that was one of that and Rocco's Modern Life and what else? Duckman. Oh man, I think I'm showing my age now, but yeah, they're all cool.
Age is irrelevant. If you enjoy the cartoons, you enjoy the cartoons. Obviously, I do.
What's that you've got there? Oh, what's that? Is that
Starscream?
Oh, is it Starscream? Is it?
Yeah, Starscream.
Ah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, there you go. I think Jazz was always my favourite, or Jazz, or Soundwave, or what was his original?
Oh, Soundwave's cool. I've seen so many T-shirt designs of Soundwave as a DJ and everything, and it's absolutely hilarious. Or there's one where he's just one of his cassette tapes just get ribbons everywhere, and he's trying to fix it.
Well, I think I actually owned the toy, the Transformer of Soundwave, and it was a physical cassette player that you could actually play.
Wow.
And turned into a very shonky looking robot. I don't know if I've made that up or if I've sort of changed it in the noodle there, but I seem to remember it being an actual physical one, like a Walkman with buttons you could press and everything.
I never had Soundwave, but in Spa they used to do like bootleg toys of like Transformers, and there was one they would do with cassette tapes. So obviously like a knockoff Ravage, a knockoff Laserbeak, a knockoff Rumble and Frenzy, and I had these and I thought they were really cool, and they were like in a Spa.
Was it called Noisebot or Sonic?
Noisebots, or you know. No, I can't remember, but I remember the colours. They're very bright colours instead of the dark colours, but they were obviously knocking off Soundwave's Millions and everything. But back to Forgotten Sons.
Yes.
I know, such a great company. But yeah, like you said about bands, one of the bands I follow, Incursion, they had a really nice picture of one of your wares, and they're kind of in like the studio, I believe, and they're wearing one of the tarot shirts, and obviously they got the hat on, and I just thought that is a really great shot. So obviously a lot of people take pictures, or you've got one of your photographers, and then asking everything. So it's getting out there. But
I mean, there's a couple of guys out there who do some phenomenal photographs for us. A guy called Rob from BHC Photos, I think it's called. He's based, I think, in Wales, and he takes quite a lot of stuff down
BHC
there.
Photography, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. And he's had some phenomenal stuff that he sent back to us.
Yeah.
There's a German guy called Roxal Pictures who's done some really good stuff, but obviously being in Germany, it's quite hard for us to communicate and say what needs to be done. And then recently, Chris from, I think it's called Zero Focus, but it's written like Z370 or something. But Chris from Zero Focus has done a set for us recently. And yeah, that's pretty good as well. So it's amazing that we've got people out there willing to, off their own time, go out and take photographs of models or take photographs of themselves. It's mind melting. Back when we first started, we got Holly Broom, who's a sort of aspiring Instagram model. I think she had about maybe 5,000 or 6,000 followers, which to us back then was like, wow, I can't believe somebody's got 5,000 followers on Facebook or Instagram. And she did a few shots for us, and they were really, really good. And I think now she's got maybe like 170,000 followers. So I'm not saying that was down to us and her modelling the T-shirt, but, you know, possibly.
It's publicity, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, what I'm thinking is, you know, maybe wearing that shirt helps propel her to stardom. Maybe. Who knows? Who can
Who
say?
knows?
Not me, legally, for sure. That's definite. But,
So, are there like any ideas that kind of are on the cutting room floor that you really wanted, but like you said earlier, have you ever thought of doing like a resurrection range?
possibly. We're thinking, I mean, nobody wants to jump on a shop and look at 7,000 pictures. Like when you jump on Netflix to look for a movie and you've got 5,000 you need to get through.
Oh yeah.
By the time you get to the ends, you think, what was the one that half liked at the beginning? So every time we bring out some new ones, we kind of get rid of some old ones. We give them a cull, put them into the graveyard. So maybe if there's enough people, we might bring back one a month for a year, say. So a few years down the line, we'll bring back like the 12 most requested for like a limited month, maybe. But yeah, at the moment, there's no plans to do that because we're more excited about coming up with new stuff. And rather than saying, hey, you remember that thing from the past that you liked? Well, why not buy that? We'd much rather say, here's a new thing that we've just developed now. It's new and it's exciting and we really, really like it. So have a go on there. And then if people go, no, we don't like that, we prefer the old stuff, we go, oh, fair enough, then we'll bring it back. But for the moment, forwards is the way.
Speaking of forwards, what new ideas have you got already, or will that have to wait to be revealed and stuff?
There's a few things we were talking about. We kind of like the idea of a Judge Dredd style badge, but instead of it saying Dredd, it's got the FSA, and we're trying to figure out a way to do that without it looking like we've just copied the Judge Dredd badge. Because
plagiaristic.
Yeah, well, hey, look, good artists copy, great artists steal.
Yeah.
Picasso said that. And he knew a thing or two about being a good artist. So, yeah, we're thinking maybe something like that, like a big chunky badge might look quite cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
I've read 2000 AD as a kid, so I think that's pretty cool.
Excellent. Well, that was one of the few comic books that we were allowed to read as kids, even though it was one of the more graphic and weird ones. But
yeah, it's brilliant. I've still got boxes of it. And
oh, really? Oh, yeah, but because it was a little bit more intellectual than the other ones, we were kind of allowed to read it because, it was slightly cleverer.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the best. But yeah, I quite like that idea. But I love the Game Boy idea as well. I am down for that one.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that. We're trying to find a way of making it look interesting without a picture of without going like, hey, you remember Game Boys? Weren't they cool? Well, why didn't you buy a T-shirt that's got one on it? We wanted to try and figure out a way of making it into a design rather than just having a picture of a Game Boy on a T-shirt, because that would be cool and I'd wear it. But I don't know, it feels like a bit of an easy way out. So
not if you add stuff into it, like you said, the horns, or you could have one of those labels around it, and it could be like a tattoo design you see on certain flash, like Game Boy, or say not old but retro.
Yeah, I think the way we were going, it was kind of looked a little bit like the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 ring.
Yeah.
The wings and then so we'll have a look at that. But yeah, it's weird. It sounded great as an idea, but then the more we structured it, the less kind of liked it. But it's been a couple of months since we visited it, so we might have a look again and see if we've changed.
Is there ideas you're really going forward for, like no ifs, no buts, no maybe, or this, that? You're fully going with that idea and happy to do it?
Not at the moment. I mean, we kind of, again, I don't want to make it sound like we follow a specific set pattern every time, but we kind of like to have at least one big logo with just the letters or the name, just big and bold, and then one that's maybe either a cartoon or a more of a picture, and then one that's a bit more of a like a graphic, and then maybe one that's possibly a tarot card, so that rather than having 5 basic identical versions of the same thing, kind of have 3 or 4 different options. So again, it's weird because last time we came up with I think we had about 15 or 16 ideas, and we looked at them and 9 of them were the word or the letters. We thought we can't just have 6 of that'd be crazy. So we whittled it down to Wooderson, which is the kind of like 80s lettering one, which I really liked, and then the headliner, which is just the Forgotten Sons, but across as a banner. So yeah, there's nothing at the moment that we've said cast iron. Definitely, we'll go with that one, because if we did that now, we'd change our minds in 3 weeks. But yeah.
Absolutely fair.
So yeah, so that's about it really at the moment. I mean, we are looking at doing the sort of spring summer range now. We've got a few ideas on the go. None that, let's say, are ready to be released just yet. But yeah, we've got a few mock-ups, and then we'll have a few more ideas. We were toying with doing like a Valentine's Day inspired one, but again, I'm not 100% sure how many people would buy a Valentine's Day T-shirt, which they would wear for maybe a week or two.
I know, it's because the Krampus one you sort of did for Christmas, and the Halloween one, that could be worn like, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I get it. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
sort of, it's got to be to do with the season, but also kind of something you can wear any season. I mean, because you can get away with the pumpkin one and the Krampus one. It's like Easter time. What if you did like a zombie rabbit design or something, and that'd be good for Easter, but also it'd be just a cool image to wear, zombie rabbit.
Exactly. If somebody was wearing a zombie rabbit, or I don't know, something that's not too sacrilegious, later on in the year, you look at it and go, oh wow, what a cool T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if somebody was wearing a thing that says, oh, I love you, honey bunny, or something, it might be cool, it might not. So I think we need to figure out a way of designing something which looked great at the time, and you go, oh look, it's a Valentine's Day T-shirt, brilliant. But 6 months later on, you could wear it, and people wouldn't go, well, why are you still wearing a Valentine's Day T-shirt? It's blimmin' October. So again, that's kind of where the craft lies, in figuring out something that looks cool enough to wear the rest of the time, but also is appropriate for the time of year that you're releasing it. So
yeah,
I mean,
obviously,
Save Our Souls, I think, have got a Valentine's one they do, which is just a heart, and it says in it, "Don't be a dick." Exactly. You could wear that any time of the year. But for me, it's weird, because that seems this really cool T-shirt, but it doesn't seem a Valentine's Day one as such. It feels like you would wear that every single day of the year except for Valentine's Day. But yeah, that's yeah. We want something
sweet
like that.
irony. That'd be very sweet irony. That would be.
Oh yeah, sorry, fella. Yeah, I lost you a little bit in the ether, but.
Oh yeah. Obviously, you and your brother have a lot of shirts and ranges, and you all love them, But was there a current piece or a former piece that you own that you just love to wear, like every day? It's like, oh, this is my favorite FSA shirt or hat of all time.
I've got a Viceroy hoodie, which is the script that's got the borders around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've worn that so much that the bottom half of it is all but rubbed off, because I'll wear it to work, I'll wear it out. Rather than taking it off and hanging it up, I'll just wear it all day. And obviously it's rubbed against the seat there. And over the course of the last year or two, I've kind of rubbed away the transfer a little bit. And I have I've got it here. Oh, there he is. The G Block baseball cap, which is my go-to baseball cap, but I've worn it so much that it's starting to get a bit faded and a bit grubby from where I've dropped it on the floor too much. Or if Cal and I have been out doing a photo shoot or something and I've taken it off and shut it down so I can get in with the camera in a stupid angle or whatever. But yeah, that design took probably, it's weird, out of all of the ones, that looks quite simple, but that probably took the longest to get from beginning to end. I always wanted the idea of just a block that had the letters in it, but trying to get the geometry of everything right so that it looks
kind of like O'Neill.
Almost, but yeah. I mean, it's a square that says FSA if you look at it.
Yeah.
But it's like interlocking triangles that spell out the word. So trying to get it that you could read the letters, but
yeah,
without it being too obvious that that's what it was, like 3 letters in a box. Oh my words, took me probably about 20 or 30 sheets of A4 with little thumbnail sketches trying to work out how to get it right. And then possibly about another 50 or so iterations on Illustrator to get it to look right. And then it did. And, I was quite happy with it. So, yeah, That was one of the seconds, maybe even third ranges we did.
Mm.
I've had that hat ever since, and we're potentially hoping we can find somewhere that can do baseball caps with like the rubber print on them.
Yeah.
So rather than embroidered, which is cool, and I really like an embroidered hat, but this would be like a 3D rubber print.
Yeah.
So it's like it had been stamped out of rubber and then hot glued onto the hat.
Mm.
If you could do that, then you could have like the black hat with the white plate of rubber and then black rubber stamp on top of it. Oh man,
Yeah.
that would be another level of awesome.
What
So,
I would like to see is I wear hats a lot. I basically like these style of baseball caps, but also I love wearing slouch beanies. The ones that slouch
yeah.
beanies. I would love to see an whatever style of writing, whatever thing. Basically, it's a Forgotten Sons of Hero slouch beanie, and you kind of got the little label or like you said, sewn in writing on like the side of it, but you're still wearing it. It's like, so I would like to see one of them in the future.
Well, I'll level with you. I don't think slouch beanies have ever been on our radar, but now that you've mentioned it, we'll have a look. But yeah, I think just be like a little like tag or a little something, just a tiny small little logo.
Yeah.
Here.
Or kind of sometimes on the, like the lower front bit as well, in FSA. So I just thought, because slouch beanies are kind of for alternative market, not just, I don't know what kind of beanies you call them, the ones that fold over everything, but I just thought, these would make, those logos would make good on slouch beanies.
Well, funnily enough, we'll look into that for definite. But with the beanies that we've got at the moment, the classic one we wanted on the side, not in the centre, on the side.
Yeah.
And we'd mock it up and we'd send it off, and they'd make them and they'd send them back, and they'd have moved it into the middle. And we'd send it back and we go, "What are you doing?" Yeah, sorry, your logo was off centre. I'm like, yeah, I know it was off centre. That's what it's supposed to be like. And then we'd send it back and we'd move it across and we'd mark it up and we'd say, "Can you put it here, please?" And they go, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Send it back and it'd be across in the middle again. They'd be like, What are you doing? Like, yeah, it was off centre. Like, "Can you please just put it in the spot where we asked?" And they went, "All right, we'll do that." And they sent it out and we looked at it and we were like, "That looks fantastic. Why could they not do this in the first place?" Although the good part of that is we had about 3 or 4 sample hats that they'd sent that were wrong, so we got some free hats out of it at least. So there we go.
So is there like a vault or a closet full of prototypes?
To be fair, the prototypes kind of just get worn around the house as slopware. So yeah, that's pajamas, and if you're painting or if you're doing anything, or if we're going out rolling in the forests or whatever. Yeah, that's what it is. But the annoying thing is, I've got probably about a dozen or so of the prototypes, and they're all ones where the printing is just too big, or just too little, or it's just in the wrong place, or it's too high up here, or it's too low. So all the stuff that I'll be wearing when I'm out and about will be, our stuff, but it's like almost seconds, which is weird. So I've got the official brand new stuff that's 100% authentic and bang on, which I'll wear when I'm going out properly. But if I'm just knocking around or going to work or anything like that, I'll usually be wearing one of the prototype ones. So yeah,
that's really cool.
Probably not the greatest advert for it, but
yeah. But I quite like that it's such a rangeful market as well. Like, it's not just, it's like if you go on certain like clothing sites, it's possibly aimed for like the goth market, or aimed for the skater market, or aimed for the, the punk, the metalhead, But what I like about it, it's aimed for all types of alternative. It's not just, it's for everyone. And that's what's cool about it, especially when seeing the pictures and all the followers. I think it's nice that it's such a rangeful market as well. Like, you're not just getting this crowd.
Whenever we send out an item, whatever it is, on the little parcel thing, and when you open it up, it says, "Thank you very much for buying this. We hope you enjoy it.
I got it.
Please wash it before you wear it, etc., etc." And then it says, "We hope you like it. Take a photo of yourself wearing it and send it across to us, and we'll bang it on the website." And it's humbling almost, the amount of people who will send us pictures of them wearing their stuff. And like you say, it's not just one person. It's not like you get some ASOS where you've got some 6'2" bloke with been down the gym, he's got his tribal tattoo and stuff, and you get 500 of identical photographs coming through. You get them through, and they're, like you say, from all walks of life. We get, people who are small and skinny. We get people who are, big, and we get people who are,
like me,
like myself. Well, we're all there to a degree. But yeah, it's just there's not one person who we would say, all right, that is our archetypal follower that we want to aim stuff at. And it's weird. I mean, we posted on Instagram probably over the last week about 4 or 5 images. And the one that got the most likes and the most interaction was a guy called, I want to say Jonas George. And he looked a little bit like the Crow. He was wearing his, in fact,
John.
Huh?
I think it was John, and he was wearing like a really gothy jacket.
Yeah, and he had the 3 of Swords. I thought it was
Yeah.
Sorry, man. It's, like I say, it's been a long day. But yeah, that got more interaction than any post, I think. And it's ridiculous. We used to think, oh yeah, you get a skinny bird wearing a tight T-shirt, put her up on the thing, and everybody go mad for it. And we'll get ladies who are, young and attractive, and they'll post photos and on our website, and it will get 50 or 60 people going, oh wow, really, they like this. And then you get some guy, looking like a goth makeup, really looking cool. I think that was Rob took that photo as well, I reckon. Yeah, I think Rob took that photo as well. And he got, I don't know, like 300 likes. And then a couple of days later, from the same set, we posted a lady who was, in pretty much the similar set, same quality photo, and she got like 100 or 150 or so interactions. And I was like, wow, I can't believe the good people out there have showed their love to this chap who's, dressing up in his goth finery, and it was just amazing that that is probably our most liked photo of the last month or so. And
I really liked it. I quite liked how just the look and everything, but it's just nice to sort of have your own brand in it. I mean, that could like you said, Crow and everything, but it was the right photo at the right time, I believe, with the right person, and it just looked very organic. It was there. I mean,
yeah, Rob's obviously an amazing photographer, and he's done a lot of work with us. I say with us, he's done a lot of work, which he's then said, hey, this is great. And we've gone, oh, fantastic. We'll pop that up. So that is phenomenal. But I mean, it's just that picture. It's a very well taken picture, very, well composed and everything. But it's just, it amazes me that, that subject matter garnered more likes than others that we posted, which in our minds would have been more, more people would have associated that with our brand. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, but I mean, the photo you posted yourself of the back of your top in front of that shop.
That is Fuel Rock Club. That is Fuel Rock Club. That's Rock Bar in Cardiff on Womanby Street, and we were just walking down. I had my new hoodie on, me and my wife, and I don't know. I was like, there was a lot of cool locations, a lot of nice locations. It would have worked. But I was just feeling that, and so I asked my wife to just get a phone out, take the picture of me, obviously with the back shot and everything, and then she sent me the photos, and I did 2 filters of it. One where it's just as it is, but a bit sharp and everything, and then obviously because I've seen the black and white work of FSA, and
yeah.
I was like feeling that, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it just pops there, and I was like, yeah, it's got to be this background, and obviously it's like an Iron Maiden based sort of
yeah, man, it was a really good photo. I mean, we've paid people money, and we've sent out free stuff to people with the express purpose of them taking some photos for us that we can use on the site, and they've sent us the files back, and we've looked at them and we've gone, did we really send somebody money and t-shirts to do this? And then conversely, you'll get somebody who's bought a t-shirt or a hoodie top from us, who's gone out and taken some photos with a friend of theirs, who've sent them in off their own back, and we'll use them on social media because they're fantastic photos. And so
I was just feeling it. I wanted to promote the show. I wanted to be thankful for this,
yeah.
And I wanted to promote it, and I was just feeling in the moment. There we were walking home from after having some coffee and cake, and I was like, love, could you please? And she did. She was like, oh, all right. But
maybe,
it was perfect.
maybe if somebody likes something and enjoys something and wants to show it off,
Yeah,
they actually naturally want to do that, then maybe the end result will be better than if somebody's doing it for money or because
yeah.
they're
I
obliged
was
to.
just I was just happy to do it, and it was in the moment. That's basically it. It was in the moment, and just wanted to do it, and because I just didn't want to take a picture in my bedroom with the hoodie on, which nothing wrong with that at all, by the way. But I just was like, no, I really want to just give this a good background, but I didn't know
You're
what.
pretty smart background there. You could have taken it in front of there.
Yeah, that's just a layout and everything I use for, and I change the layout each time I have a different episode.
So, well, I hope the dinosaur skull is a
Oh,
stay.
that's the main piece. That never goes anywhere. That's always going to be. All this will get changed, but
I
good
think,
old here
yeah, the thing is
stays.
just to bring that forwards, like about maybe a yard, and then just hold it there.
I do, but my head keeps blocking it.
Well, no, I'll just put it in front of your head. Then is what I'm thinking. It possibly might improve the video. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. That's it. If you just hold the video like
Thank
this,
you.
just that, the rest of the video would be fine.
Yeah, yeah. Sainsbury's, that is.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Has it got sweets in it or something?
not anymore. I mean, I just keep pins in there, so if I need to put stuff up on my walls, I've got pins in there to, hang up pictures or posters and that on my wall. But yeah, I found that in Sainsbury's on their Halloween range, and I was like, gotta have that.
I think a worthy investment, mate.
Yeah, well, I like dinosaurs as well, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, you and your brother have really done well for yourselves, in my personal opinion.
Thank you very
I
much.
think you've obviously done a lot of hard work. You've gained a massive following, and the plugin for it is amazing.
A lot more work than we originally imagined.
Yeah,
We thought, oh, this would be easy. We'll come up with a dozen T-shirts. We'll put them out online. People will buy them by their thousands, and then we can retire early. But yeah, it's a lot more investment in both time and money than we initially thought. But ultimately, yeah, it's well worth it. I mean, it's a business, it's a hobby, it's something to be proud of. Yeah,
I know, and you're doing something you love as well, which is
yeah.
great. And it's just, I think it's really skyrocketed as well. That's just my opinion, because when
Well,
I saw it, it's like
the ceiling. Hopefully, it's going to go even further. So, what goes higher than a skyrocket?
Mars,
What goes higher than a skyrocket? A moon capsule, intergalactic thrusting. I don't know.
a big badass rocket. Let's just
Big
call it that.
badass rocket.
Rocket,
Yeah.
yeah, Rocket Man.
Excellent. I'm hoping that was the Me First and the Gimme Gimmes version rather than the Elton John version.
I like that version.
Yeah, cool.
But
Yeah.
well, it's been fun chat. I hope to have you on another episode,
Yeah.
because
I
and
thought
talk more.
I thought we were due to have a hunky model type with us, but apparently he couldn't make it.
I know, but there's always next time. Never say never. But you've been great to talk to, Finn, and hopefully your brother can join us as well.
Yeah, if you can get the kids to sleep early enough, maybe.
I know. Just tranquilize them.
Yeah, I'll stick them in front of Minecraft and just leave them to it.
Done.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But we'll definitely have you on for another episode and talk more, obviously, about the spring range and the summer range when that comes. But for those viewers out there, if you want to check out Forgotten Sons Apparel, it's on social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram. And they also have the website, which would you like to plug in yourself, please?
But ForgottenSonsApparel.com or .co.uk, they both work. Jump on there and have a look.
Yeah. So if you fancy a new t-shirt, cap, hoodie, or a good vest, just to show off the guns, or working off gym, or just because you want to wear a vest, check out Forgotten Sons Apparel. And it's been great, Finn, and we'll have you on for a future episode.
Jax, it's been a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you for your time, and Thank you.
All right, cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Well, that was this episode of the One Take Live cast. I will be back Saturday where I shall be talking to the Metal Maidens. Till then, cheerio.